Hello guys, what's up? This is my beginner's guide to PvP talents and my YouTube channel here below. A couple of guys have asked me if I would be willing to do this, and so here we are. Just a disclaimer, of course, you know, if you followed me, if you watched my videos, I'm not perfect, I'm not even fantastic, but in my random battlegrounds, I'm doing all right. I'm in the upper quadrants of damage. I don't die very often, and these days I'm also getting quite a few killing blows. So this is how I play. If you're just starting out as an elemental and want to hit up some battlegrounds, this might be a good starting point for you to figure out what you want to do and how you want to play. These are my character, my class talents, and I'm only going to talk about the ones that I actually selected, maybe dab a little bit into the ones that I haven't. So in the first tier here, I selected Path of Flame. Lava Burst deals 10% more damage, and Flame Shock spreads to enemies once you hit somebody with a Lava Burst. So the 10% more damage on the spell that we are really trying to cast all the time, instantly if possible, is a lot of damage over time coming in. Plus the additional Flame Shock spread to other opponents is going to increase your instant Lava Burst amounts as well. So I think this is the way to go here. The other talents here, Earthen Rage and Totem Mastery, don't really do so much damage. Specifically, again, Path of Flame is going to affect our main spell that we're trying to hit all the time. In the next tier here, I selected Gust of Wind. It's kind of a leap that the warrior has, or quite a weak version of Blink. I find it's quite helpful though at times, even though it can be interrupted, you can be stunned, pulled back, or anything else. Feared. One of my last videos, I was jumping, I was in the air, and I got stuck in the air because I was feared. But if it works all right, I will say. It's one of the few defensive cooldowns we have just to get away, sometimes even to get closer to the opponent. So it's a gap creator, it's a gap closer. In the next tier here, I've chosen Earthgrab Totem. It's really the most effective from the three options that we have here. It's a pretty reliable defensive cooldown. Not everybody is being bothered by it. Um, Warriors Whirlwind doesn't do anything. You know, Paladins can go through, and Druids specifically as well. But it is, I think, the best defensive cooldown that we have from this tier here, and it'll help you out quite often, I find. In the next row, I've chosen Aftershock. It's potentially a toss-up between Aftershock and Ancestral Swiftness, which gives you 6% haste. I have chosen Aftershock, refunds 30% of all Maelstrom spent on spells that use Maelstrom. Specifically, I use it often with or as a double execute. So I have my 125 Maelstrom, I do a full Earthshock with that, and then I have enough Maelstrom back to have a significant amount of damage coming out if a target hasn't died yet. So that's why I use it how I use it. And there's certainly something said for ancestral swiftness with, our flame shocks and, us being pretty stationary casters to get a spell off a little bit quicker is a good thing as well. But, I use Aftershock basically for a double execute. In the next tier here, Elemental Fusion, that's what I've chosen. Flameshock has a 5% increased chance to trigger Lava Surge, unless you're doing control of lava in the honor talents, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. I think this one is the way to go here. Elemental Blast. If you've checked out my my blog, my website that I've mentioned in my last few videos as well, I'm writing a little bit about it. How Elemental Blast is not really a great PvP option. It's rather detrimental. So have a look there if you want more information. But you can be interrupted and locked out of all of your schools quite easily here. And Primal Elementalist, while they do a lot more damage, I find a passive that at any given time can give you more damage, more instant damage at that is the way to go here. In the next row, I've chosen Echo of the Elements. I think that's pretty much self-explanatory. 2 instant lava bursts are better than 1. With the procs that we get from Elemental Fusion, I find it would be a waste to not have the option for 2 charges because it procs quite often. And the last tier is this is potentially a toss-up as well between Lightning Rod and Ice Fury. Lightning Rod works fantastically with our artifact skill, the Stormkeeper. If you can hold out and wait for Lightning Rod to proc and then cast Stormkeeper, it's an insane amount of damage. I don't necessarily do it often, just because I want to get quick damage out at the beginning of a fight, as well as then with the Stormkeeper load up my Maelstrom. But this is a good option just for again a passive damage multiplier when you're heading out and running out of lava burst procs. Ice Fury is potentially the better option for arenas though. It gives you a few, well, four really more instant spells if you get this one out. I find in a normal battleground where more likely than not you will get your four frost chucks out. Um, it doesn't really do that much damage, which potentially is better spent, again, go in Lightning Rod and Elemental Fusion to to get an increased Maelstrom and Lava Burst instant proc rate. So heading over to the actual honor talents. In the first row here, I find the Gladiator's Medallion is probably the way to go because it lets you decide when you want to use it. The adaptation here might be an option as well. I haven't really dabbled around with it at all, to be honest, because this one here automatically will remove any loss of control effects that are 5 seconds or more. But with the medallion, I have the choice to decide, even if it's a 2-second interrupt that I'm facing, if I want to get out of it immediately to secure a kill or push somebody off or return a flag or something. So a couple of seconds can make a big difference. And next up, I've chosen Train of Thought solely because usually when you start a fight and you pull out all your cooldowns, you're standing in the back and you're not being attacked. So those 15% increased damage can make quite a nice difference. The numbers look a little bit nicer, of course, too. There's something to be said again for mind quickness, though, an increase in haste by 6%. The reasons I talked about on the other page as well. So, if you feel like this is the way to go for you, it's a totally fine, very valid option as well. In the next tier, Sky Fury Totem. Again, with all our crits that we're facing with Lava Burst, this one increases the crits by 20%, also helps the team out with all of their crits as well as with healing crits. So I think overall this is a great talent for you, but also everybody else for healers and other damage dealers that are around. And I usually pull it right at the beginning. I dot somebody up, put the Sky Fury Totem down, pull out Stormkeeper, and then just do damage, weaving in instant lava bursts if I get them. For the next tier, I selected Swelling Waves. When you cast Healing Surge on yourself, you're healed again for the same amount 3 seconds later. This really, in my mind, is a must-have talent to heal yourself. My heals currently crit for about, I'd say roughly 600,000. So with one heal, I'm healing myself for 1.5 million or 1.2. Then if I get 2 heals through, that's 2 million or more, which helps drastically in situations under fire if you get the heal through, of course, but you're going to be stunned and interrupted so often. So if you get one heal through, it'll save your life for quite a while longer for, other cooldowns to come down. So really, in my mind, this one here is the way to go. In the next tier, I have Fire and Ice. I don't do it for the Frost Shock that deals now 20% more damage, which would be a fantastic option if you're choosing to go with Ice Fury here, going back to the talents, which empowers your Frost Shocks already. I'll do it for the Maelstrom generation that now Flame Shock is doing. So with the other talents that I have, that if somebody has Flame Shock, I hit him with a Lava Burst, and now it spreads to adjacent targets as well. this is quite a fantastic income of Maelstrom, which then again enables me to hit more full Maelstrom Earth Shocks and what I talked about, my double executes there. So this is for me the way to go. If I feel like I want to have a little bit more fun, and we've seen a couple of videos of mine as well, playing with control of lava, it's solely a fun talent I find. It can do quite a lot of damage. With my Sky Fury Totem, I've hit a couple of lava bursts that were 800,000, 900,000 damage. So it is nice to see those numbers, and it helps specifically to take single targets down if you have a healer or so, and you can match it up with a full Maelstrom Earthstroke. It can do an insane amount of burst damage. However, you need to be standing still for this one to happen, which, as I said, we are a quite stationary class already, so this doesn't necessarily help you to do more damage over the course of a battleground. In the last tier, I've played around with Lightning Lasso and Earth Fury. When you do 100 Maelstrom Earth Shock, the target will be stunned for 2 seconds. It is on non-diminishing return, so if you have 200 Maelstrom Earth Shocks in a row, the target will be stunned essentially, for 2 seconds, maybe 1 or 2 seconds in between, and then another 2 seconds. However, then, due to one of the comments that I've gotten on YouTube, I've played around with Lightning Lasso, and I honestly feel this is the way to go. The damage over time here is not necessarily the point, but the 6 seconds stun is really what makes this a quite powerful talent. I'm using it offensively and defensively. Defensively, of course, to buy myself a little bit time, maybe wait for a couple of, or rather one lava burst instant proc and or other cooldowns to come down. I use this offensively. I use this offensively and defensively. Defensively, obviously, to buy myself a little bit of time for cooldowns to come down. Maybe my gust of wind, which is the jumping away, or some instant lava burst to do some more damage to kill a target off and whatnot. Maybe even for other players to come in to receive some more heals, that kind of stuff. But offensively, it's quite good because you can take other targets out of the game for 6 seconds unless, they have the medallion ready or they can bubble or whatnot. But it worked out quite often, actually, looking back over some of the last few games where there's a healer going crazy healing and whatnot, or a flag carrier has the flag, and I use lightning lasso, and people around are just able to kill the target off without them being able to do anything. There are some bugs with it. It doesn't always work. If somebody uses a bubble or, other mechanisms like the medallion, you see that, you notice this. The lightning lasso does not always work for the full amount of 6 seconds, sometimes only for 1 second or 2 seconds. But if it works out properly, and it does so quite often, then this is pretty powerful. But this is how I play in random battlegrounds, and as I said in the beginning, I find I'm doing quite well with it. So hopefully this helps you guys a little bit, at least a starting point, what to do, where to play around with, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Do some damage in battlegrounds and live it up. Thanks guys, and bye.